In this practice, we'll learn how to lengthen and get more turning action in yoga poses. We'll begin standing. Stand tall with your feet parallel, your fingers spread, your thumbs reaching out and back. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, turn to your right, spread your wings, reach your thumbs down. Inhale, reach up. Turn your ribs toward your left and reach wide. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, take your hands down. Come to the front of the mat. If you've got blocks, grab them. Place your blocks alongside your ankles. With your hands to the tall blocks, step your right foot back. Keep your right hand where it is. Take your left hand to your low back. Turn your heart. As you draw your underside ribs up, the head of your left arm bone back, reach your left arm up. Keep your back heel lifting so that the foot is almost vertical. Reach your left arm over your head. Enjoy the fullness of the breath as you lengthen from the pelvis out through the armpit, through the fingertips. Release your hand down. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. Reach up to the sky. Take your hands wide apart. You get this nice openness in the upper chest. Exhale, take your hands down to the blocks. Step your left leg back with the back leg really lifting and engaged. Let that be a sign for the front thigh to drop down a little bit deeper. Take your right hand to your low back. Turn your left ribs. You can even use your right hand to lift your left ribs a bit more in the twist. Now reach your right arm up. Reach your right arm over. Keep the back leg strong. Drop a little bit deeper in the front leg. Release your hand down. Step your back foot forward. Place both hands to your low back. Rise up. We'll continue working on lengthening the side body as a way to go deeper in our actions of turning the chest. When you twist a rag when you're cleaning, you twist at the middle. And so it is in yoga postures. You're not twisting at the low back where there's very little flexibility in the lumbar spine. You're twisting in the middle, especially in that area where your floating ribs are. The rib cage really constricts the turning ability of the upper thoracic, but at the floating ribs, there's a little bit more freedom to move. As you turn and twist in these poses, think about moving from that area, not the lumbar spine. Keep that very stable. Step wide on your mat. You may want to use your blocks just at your ankles. Turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee. Reach your arms out to the side in Virabhadrasana 2. The difference here is to turn your palms up so that we can get this nice opening of the upper chest to remind us to get a little bit more length in these actions. Lift up through the side ribs. Take the heads of the arm bones back. Take your back hand back a little bit further toward the back knee. Reach your front hand up and over your head. And enjoy this nice side stretch. Drop a little bit lower in the front leg as you inch your fingertips on the back leg, a little bit deeper in the pose. And inhale, come out of the pose to release your hands. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, bend your knee, sweep your arms up, spread your fingers. Look to see that the thumb is reaching toward the earth, the baby finger is lifting up. Reach your back hand toward the back leg. Reach your front hand over your head and slightly back. Get this nice fullness in your pose. And inhale, rise up. Release your hands. Now let's come to a triangle pose. Turn your right toes out. Look at your feet to make sure you have a nice refined line up from the front heel to the back arch. Lengthen through the side body from the pelvis to the armpit. Reach your arms out. Again, you can turn your palms up as a way to get even more fullness in the upper chest. Draw down toward the front leg. Now, if you'd like to use your block, by all means, place your hand to your block. With the back heel rooted firmly, see about getting more length to the side body by reaching the arm over your head. And enjoy your breath in the pose. Enjoy the expansion that the form of the pose gives you. Keep pulling in from your feet toward the midline of your pose. Now extend from the pelvis to the armpit, out through the fingertips, and inhale, rise up. Come to the opposite side. Turn your right toes in, your left toes out. Pull in to gain strength in the legs. Pull the feet isometrically toward one another. Expand out. Again, you can turn the palms up so that you get this nice fullness to the upper chest before reaching down toward the earth, either to your shin or to your tall block. Reach your lifted arm over your head. Just pause. Pause in the pose with the action of the legs, with the fullness of your breath. Can you get more expansion through the side body? Through the feeling of stability through the back leg. Anchor the back foot before lifting yourself easily out of the pose. Release your hands. Now let's come to a seated pose. In your seated pose, come to Dandasana by pressing your fingertips down and getting length to your spine. Use your hand to create length. Now bend your right knee. With your right knee bent, you may find that the low back rounds. So use your right hand to get more length. Now look at your right hand. See if you can work the right hand back just a little bit further. Just encouraging that low rib area of the spine to get a little bit more twist in the action. Reach your left arm forward and turn toward the outer knee. This is a little variation from Marichyasana number 3, but it allows you to keep the fullness of the pose with the support of the back hand. You get this nice lifting quality. Release out of the pose. Extend your feet forward. Use your hands to get this nice lift of the spine. heads of the arm bones are drawing back, the backs of the legs press down. Now bend your left knee, park your foot down. First, find a way to take your left hand just a little bit further, just inch your fingers just a little bit further over toward the right hip for that support. Before extending your right arm forward, draw your hand to the outer thigh, the outer knee. Find fullness in the pose as you find support through the back hand to get this nice lifting quality. Now come out of the twist and extend your feet forward again. Notice how as you press your fingertips behind the pelvis and get more length, you can activate the legs more fully in the pose. Now we'll come to a supine pose. Lie on your back. Take the palms of your hands on your kneecaps as if you're trying to grow your thigh bone from the pelvis to the kneecaps. Reach your kneecaps fully into the palms of the hands, but resist. Push the kneecaps back toward the mat to build and strengthen the arch of the low back. Now keep that, a nice arch in the lumbar spine. Draw the knees together. Hug the midline with the knees pressing in toward each other. Take your arms in a cactus pose. Draw your knees just slightly over to the right and hold the pose. See if you can lift your right knee almost like as a support to the left. So it's a stronger action with the right leg. Now with the inner knees touching, extend your left leg out. Bend your left knee, come back to the center position. Take your hands back to your kneecaps to once again strengthen the lumbar curve. Press the knees back away from your heart. With your hands, press your palms into the kneecaps as if to compress the thigh bone, but instead the thigh bone's trying to reach itself up into the palms of the hands. With your kneecaps together, just a small turn to the left. The knees are guided to the left, the arms come in a cactus pose so that you're very supported. It's a small turning action to the left while keeping the right shoulder down, while keeping the legs active. This time the left knee is trying to lift up to support the right leg. Keep that strength. If you'd like to extend your right foot out, go right ahead to get that length. Bend your right knee again. Come back to the center position. Take your hands right at your kneecaps. Press the kneecaps back toward the mat while you're still working to lengthen from the pelvis to the kneecap to get more length of the thigh bone. Release your feet down to the mat. With your feet on the mat, lift your pelvis away from the mat. Bend your elbows to press your elbows down. See if you can get more fullness, more length all the way from the heart to the kneecaps. Invite fullness to the breath, fullness to the form of the pose. Keep that fullness of the front side of the body as you slowly release the pelvis down to the earth. Release your arms. Extend your legs. Close your eyes. In this practice, by supporting and lengthening the lumbar spine, the lower part of the spine, we provide a little bit more freedom for the thoracic spine to turn in poses. As you allow your legs to feel like they're fully supported by the earth, and also the arms, with that full support of your limbs, notice how your shoulders and your hips find freedom. You feel so rooted. Breathe in deep and out long. You breathe in deep and out long. Keep a nice ease, the inflow and outflow of the breath. Enjoy Savasana. This time to reflect on the practice. Reflect on aspects of your body that you've come to gain a greater understanding of. To the teachings of yoga, we bow. Namaste.